Businesses can apply for a cannabis business license starting tomorrow. The application window for a business to become a licensed medical cannabis business is July 1st through August 31st. The state is awarding a limited number of dispensary licenses through a lottery process. Cannabis and psychedelic attorney Dustin says applying for these licenses can be difficult.
The biggest barrier to submitting an application, and we explain this to anyone that reaches out. Number one, there's a non-refundable deposit depending on which license type you apply for. So that's money that you'll need to have. But in addition to that, there's a requirement to have a sufficient amount of capital on hand or through a financial institution having credit with them.
Applicants will be required to pay an application fee and submit appropriate documentation, which includes a business history, operation plans, ownership information, financial information, business location, and site plans. However, each Kentucky city is responsible for coming up with its own regulations for whether businesses will be allowed to sell medical cannabis in that city.
Several of these municipalities have already passed regulation. So those municipalities, they're the safest to find real estate in. But for municipalities that haven't made a decision on it, you need to make sure you're talking with the local officials to get a better understanding on what their expectations are. If it's a city that's already banned it, obviously you don't want to, obtain real estate for the dispensary in that particular municipality.
Now, if a medical cannabis business receives a license and starts operating in a city before that city decides to opt out of medical cannabis, that business will be grandfathered into the state program and be allowed to continue operating. Medical cannabis becomes legal in Kentucky in January.